Hi students, today we are going to talk about conditional sentences type 2. What are conditional sentences? Conditional sentences are sentences expressing factual implications or assumed situations and their consequences. They are so called because the validity of the main clause of the sentence is conditional on the existence of certain circumstances, which may be expressed in a dependent clause or may be understood from the context. Now, a full conditional sentence may contain two parts, the dependent clause and the main clause. Now, if you look at this example, if I found her address, I would send her an invitation. Now, this sentence has two parts. If I found her address, I would send her an invitation. Now, if you read the first part only, if I found her address, it doesn't convey full meaning until or unless we have the main clause added up with it. Now, what is the main clause over here? I would send her an invitation. This can stand independently, but if I found her address, if we take it as a single clause, it doesn't make proper sense. So, this is the subordinate clause or the dependent clause. Okay, I would send her an invitation if I found her address. Look at this example. I wouldn't stay here if I had a lot of money. Now, I wouldn't stay here. It is the main clause or independent clause, and if I had a lot of money, this is the subordinate or dependent clause. Look at this one. If I were you, I would not do this. Now, I would not do this is the main clause, and if I were you, this is the dependent or subordinate clause. Now, what is the structure of conditional sentence type 2? If clause. If clause has simple past tense, as you can see in the example. If I were you, if I found her address. Simple past, simple past, simple past. Okay, and in main clause you can use would plus an infinitive, could plus an infinitive, might plus an infinitive. Infinitive mean first form of the verb followed by to. Now see, we will analyze these sentences. If I found her address. Now, if I found her, this is the conditional clause. What would be I would send her an invitation. What would be the result? If I found her address, I would send her an invitation. Now, when do we use conditional sentences type 2? In the second conditional sentences, we speculate about situations that will probably never happen at present or in future. So, we talk about weak possibility of a situation. We talk about weak possibility in second conditional sentences. Things might not happen because the time has gone. Okay, so conditional sentences type 2, they refer to weak possibility of a certain action. Now look at this example. What would you do if there were no books? Now see, conditionals in what would you do? This is the main clause. If there were no books, this is the subordinate dependent clause. Now see, main clause. In main clause, what do we have? Would plus an infinitive, and if there were no books, if clause is followed by simple past tense. Now see, look at this. She might come if you invited her. They could win the match if they played well. Now see, examples of could and might. She might come if you invited her. She might come if you invited her. Now see, if clause is followed by simple past tense, and in main clause we use would, could or might. So here is a quick recap. What are the conditional sentences? Type 2. Conditional sentences type 2, we think about situations that will probably never happen at present or in future. They refer to weak possibility. We follow simple past tense in if clause, and the main clause is having the structure would plus an infinitive, could plus an infinitive, or might plus an infinitive. Hopefully you understand conditional sentences type 2. Thank you.